Right, well, there's always something going on in the royal household. Good afternoon. If you just tuned in, I'm Nana Aquia. This is GB News. We are Britain's news channel. And as ever, this week has been no different. And every Saturday, I do like to give you a rundown. And who better to do so than royal biographer Angela Levin. Angela Levin, right, well, it's been a very busy week for the royals. The King and Queen in Australia.
Yes, we've been very anxious, will he actually make it, because he stopped his cancer treatment for the amount of days he'll be away, which is about 11, and you so want it to go well. And there's a lot of rumours from the people who actually didn't want him to be there and how nasty and what he was all about. But the King has a very good way of charming people, Camilla too. And actually you could see even last night in the pouring rain that although it was not enough people there, but you wouldn't expect them to be there in the rain, that he was already charming them. So it's wonderful. And actually I've heard from two people who said that there won't be a referendum to get rid of him, and it would cost 150 million, and the country is not up to that either. And also it's probably the 99th thing they're going to worry about out of 100. So I think it'll be good. I think it will be very well. And this morning, they were walking around in a park. They just had today off so they can recover from the very long flight. And they'll be Zooming it. They're going to cover 30,000 miles, and they're going to do 10 engagements a day, but they're not going to be together, so they can fill in. This is a female one and a male one. And then he goes on to Samoa, and this is what he's really keen about, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. 58 countries, over 3,000 people, and I bet Australia will be there delighted, and all this nasty words that we don't want him anymore would disappear.
But didn't he, on Monday, he invited loads of premiers, so a lot of the premiers on Monday were invited to an event, but all of them turned him down?
They did, but actually didn't meet him when he got down off the plane, but some of them did, and others of them have said, well, I think the important thing is to be charming and to think that he's a very nice man, and let's be polite. I think they felt rather shameful, but there's always people like that.
Well, there's all of them there, wasn't it? They all did that, and then of course the
6 of them, 6.
Oh, okay, well,
yeah,
but
premiers, 6 premiers.
Yeah,
did
they
it.
all did it. Yeah.
But I think he'd be fine. People just like him, and there'll be crowds. And another friend of mine who I've developed, he said that the Parliament doesn't like him, but the people do, and they'll win.
Of course they will. Apologies if because of some of the flashing and photography on the screen there, just it might trouble a few people. So just so you know, that is actually happening. I was going to also ask with regard to the visit. So they're not going to New Zealand because that would have been probably a stretch too far. And there's the Commonwealth meeting, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what I just said. That's at Samoa.
But aren't they calling for reparations? There's 15 countries that not the Australian ones, but.
No, they're not going to do that. It's a way they meet and they discuss things and help each other. It's very friendly. He doesn't mind if they become independent. He's actually said that many times, as had the late Queen. What he wants is just that they work together and help each other, which they do because they have very similar problems. And he loves Australia. He's been there since he was 17. He loved it. And he said it's the best lessons he's ever had there. For 2 terms he was invited over there. And this is his 16th visit. And he's got a great feeling for Australia. They helped us in the First World War and the Second World War, and there's something very warmth between us. And I think it'll all be all right. It's just people start grumbling.
Well, I hope so. Now, let's move on to Meghan Markle, because she apparently told 4 to 13-year-old children that she was one of the most bullied people on earth.
Yes.
13-year-old.
Yes, she said she was one of the most bullied person in the world. Now, how does she know that, for a start? I mean, you don't know something. She doesn't look at social media. How does she know anything about how many people actually like her or don't like her? But if you've got children aged 4 to 12, how do you expect them to respond to you? I mean, I would be terrified if someone came in and said, I'm the most bullied person in the world, and I think, my God, what shall I do? Let me hide from this person. She must be absolutely awful. I don't think she would get any sympathy. I think small children wouldn't know how on earth, what they should do about it. And
it's interesting that she thinks she's the most bullied person in the world. I mean, she literally has lovely fortune. She has everything. And to be fair, some of the things they did, so documentaries, slaying the royal family and, you know, allowing the Queen to believe that there was a racist in there. I mean, that's not...
She enjoys it. I think she gets satisfaction from it. Otherwise, she wouldn't pretend to be that.
Well, maybe her definition of bullying is different to how we understand the word.
Well, I think she doesn't know the difference between bullying and being disliked. And I think that she hasn't been bullied, but a lot of people don't like her because they feel she's been very rude to the royal family and that she has been very patronising to Harry. And I think that the things she said and the acts she's done, especially that terrible curtsy when she went like that and put a silly voice on for seeing the Queen, people haven't liked that. So I think that I couldn't understand why on earth she would do that, to scare the living daylights out of them.
Well, they apparently brought her home in Portugal, which I visited and I loved. And I'm like, no, why are you in Portugal? But that's where they're going, over £3 million worth.
Ah, well, you'll have to find a lot of money.
Somewhere else.
Work hard, which you're doing. Well, that's very interesting too, because Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank is there, and in Harry's book, Spare, he said Meghan and Eugenie are like sisters. I'm not quite sure of that, because in August she said she wants to come back to the UK and because she wants to give the children an English education and she wants to be with the family. She'll just come here occasionally for holidays. So why is she coming? Is that a way that they can go around various countries in Europe and pretend that they're still royals again? And I think that's the way, to knock them on the head. I don't think there's anything positive about that. She's a nice sea and sand, but she's got that right on her doorstep already.
Well, I suppose if you've got everything and all the money that you need, you might want to go and live in somewhere like Portugal.
But they're supposed to be divorcing, aren't they? One's doing one thing, one's doing another thing.
Well, maybe that's normal, though, isn't it? After a while, you can't keep doing everything.
I think they play games with this.
Exactly. You can't keep doing everything together. It looks a bit silly. And also, they've got a new PR now. Very briefly, Prince William helped his stunningly beautiful three cousins to Centrepoint Awards. We've got about 30 seconds.
Yes, he went to Centrepoint
Actually,
Awards.
Less than that.
And a charity for the homeless, and it's to award the children who now have a home to do that. And he's got his three beautiful cousins. And I thought, what a good idea to have them. And I wonder if he would help them do him with the royal family. I think it'd be lovely.
Lovely. Angela Levin, as ever, a pleasure. Thank you so much.